What is up, everybody? This is the Seymour Duncan POLARON analog phase shifter. This is a really great sounding, super versatile, very well thought out phase shifter. It is a 16 stage phase shifter. It just really covers a ton of bases. It is programmable, which is really great. You can save 3 different presets on there. You can also use it as an envelope filter. You can change the rate via tap tempo if you wish. It's just, there's just tons of features on it, and honestly won't have time to go through all of them. But let's just get into what's on the top here. So top left, you have a sensitivity control. That's for your envelope. Depth and rate are self-explanatory. We'll check those out in the demo. You have your stages control, so everywhere from a stage 2 all the way up to stage 16 phase. Right next to that is your resonance. We'll get into how that sounds. And then right next to that is a really great sounding feature called the tune feature, and it basically adjusts the center frequency of the phaser, and it really sounds great. You can dial in a lot of really good sounds just using that. Now, you do have true bypass. That's the left switch, but that one, if you hold it down, will allow you to choose between LFO mode and envelope mode, which is really cool. You can do that on the fly. And on your right, you have a preset switch. That's going to allow you to choose between the 3 presets or the manual preset, or if you hold it down, it's going to allow you to tap tempo your rate, which is really cool, and we'll definitely check that out. Another feature I do want to point out is the key input. That's there to help you with your dynamics when you're using the envelope filter. Basically what happens is if you're hitting that with like an overdrive, a distortion, or a fuzz pedal, the dynamics won't be as responsive off your guitar through a fuzz pedal to the envelope filter via just the input. So what Seymour Duncan has done is they added the key input. So you can take your guitar earlier in the chain and split it into 2 signals. You can run your distortion signal into the input, or whatever you're going to do, fuzz, overdrive, into the input of the POLARON, but then you can take that split signal that's before your distortion and plug that into the key input, and what's going to happen is it's just going to capture much more of the actual dynamics coming off of your guitar, which is really cool. Now, in all honesty, I tried it and I liked it, but I really preferred just running to the input even with an overdrive, because I liked the fact that it was random and I wasn't really sure what it was going to do. But I thought that was a really well thought out appointment to add to this pedal for guys that are using, you know, Ottawa or envelope filter settings. So without further ado, let's check out the POLARON. Okay, let's get into some sounds. Right now you're hearing an approximation really of the sound that I created for that opening tune. Now, I did that through my Friedman, the Plexi channel, so it was kind of brighter and more of a overdriven sound. Right now you're hearing it for demo purposes through my my red plate, which is more of a Fender-based amp, and it's dialed pretty clean. So right now this is kind of a, I would say it's a vibey sound. It's got a little bit more bubble than that to it. We can, you know, make it less bubbly simply by turning the resonance down. I'm using the Stage 2 filter, which really is kind of our favorite orange phaser. Now, I really like using this tune control. It really just sets the center frequency of the phase. I like to start at around noon and just start moving it around. So just in that, you know, two-stage setting, there's so many different sounds, but I tend to lean towards, you know, more of, like I said, that classic phaser sound. Now, while we're on this type of sound, we can go from this all the way to more of what I would consider kind of a chorus sound. Check it out. Now, this is going to seem really extreme at first, but I'm going to go all the way to the right, to the 16-stage setting, which is a little bit extreme, but check it out. That was another sound I just kind of discovered that I really I thought was great. One of the more classic, I used to have an old Mutron, the biphase. It was like the size of a Fiat Spider, for crying out loud. But I really loved it. And I found I could get really close to that with the Polaron. One thing I will show you is in the rate control. Like right now, we adjusted obviously using the rate control, but we can hold down the tap tempo switch on the right. So that's a really cool feature if you want to be able to dial it in to the exact tempo you're at, or at least get close to the tempo that you're at via 16ths or 8ths or whatever it is you're trying to create on stage. And once we take it back out of that, then we're back into our preset mode. So that's a really cool feature. Now let's check out the envelope mode. And the way you get from LFO to envelope is simply by holding down the switch on the left, or the bypass switch, and it'll get you into that mode. And then you use the sensitivity to adjust the envelope. And we can hit it with some distortion and see what that sounds like. And once you get it dialed in, I mean, you can almost get that kind of, you can get that vibe going. So those are just a few of the really great sounds you can get out of this. They've got a bunch of settings in there that they dialed in that you can check out in the manual that really sound great. So thanks for watching this video, and as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you've got further questions about the Polaron, go to the Seymour Duncan website and check it out. I'll have a link below. Okay guys, we'll see you next time.